You know, I love a good dark comedy, but I would be perfectly okay if I'd never seen another film that did not have to harm animals. I just can't take it anymore. But I'm so glad that this one had a happy ending, because I was a little bit worried with this one. But nonetheless, let's jump into my review of the new film, Samuel's Travels. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing the film Samuel's Travels, which made its world premiere this year at Fantastic Fest 2021. Now, this film is a dark comedy, as I said, and I love me a good dark comedy. But man, I gotta tell you, I was intrigued with this film. I wanted to check it out, but the beginning of this film, it definitely strikes your interest as to, I wonder what's going to happen here. And then an animal is hit, almost in, potentially could have been roadkill, but it temporarily survived. But Sam decided that maybe it was better if he just got rid of it. And I'm just like, no, it's a pig and it's squealing. I'm sad. I can't do this no more, folks. I can't. The poor pig. Why? But I'm happy to say that there was a happy ending with this film. But man, I just was having a hard time in the beginning of this film because I just didn't want to see the pig get hurt. But Samuel, which this film is taking part in the remote part of Eastern Europe, in the edges of a mythical forest is what they're saying this is. But Samuel, a foreigner of this town, he's searching for his dad and maybe a lot more because he's at peace being a lonely man by himself. But every once in a while, I guess he gets out because he needs to go find something to do. And then in this case, he was going to look for his father. However, as I said, he goes on a journey, not paying attention, and he hits a pig. And in this part of Europe, and maybe a lot more places in the world, pigs are considered highly valuable. So like, oh no, you did not just hit a pig, and that's not a good thing. And he tries to save the pig. It doesn't actually go as planned. He figures that it may be too late for the pig. He decides he wants to bury it. But then he stumbles across this lady here who sees him and basically is like, we may have another option for this pig. Bring him and you back to my town, and we'll see what we can do, because you're not going to just get rid of the pig. And she also realized that the pig wasn't actually dead. It was just going through the motions. And at one point she said it was just extremely happy here. So first thing about this film, before I go deeper into the plot, I love the narration of this film, and I love the score. It kind of reminds me of a very iconic video game, but I'm not going to say which one it is because I feel like people may come for me for not being totally correct by it. But it did give me, I'll say it, because it's a mythical forest. So when you think about stuff like that, one thing that easily comes to mind is Zelda. And I felt like this film, you know, Zelda didn't have narration, but the scoring with the narration of this film felt like a Zelda game. It just like the toning, the mood, and everything, the melody, it felt like that. You know what I mean? So I definitely was a fan of the score with this one here. But I definitely was curious to see where this film was going to go up until a point where I'm about to say in a second, because it started to come off like a love story. It's like, oh, he meets this girl that seems to be everything he needs. She gives him complete hospitality. She takes care of the pig. He's not so lonely anymore. He found somebody that seems to be who he finds attractive. She seems to be attracted to him, and she sets him up in a good spot. Until the next day, her brothers and father decides that, oh no. Oh no. Then they actually capture this dude and treat him like an animal, like a pig. Puts a torture device around his neck, barely feeds him, completely strips him of his clothes. I mean, things really took a 360 for him. Like, it went from pretty good to pretty bad. So, you know, with that being said, I thought that I did like how this film really delivered the very unorthodox storytelling here by really throwing the unexpected at you. You had this one character who's even acting like a pig, which his performance alone was probably the highlight in this film because it was just so funny. It was so funny, but I so wasn't expecting it, but I enjoyed it for sure. But yeah, this dude was treated like an animal, and pretty much lesser than an animal because pigs are held to a higher regard, and he just was lesser than that, just so you know. And it's just crazy because like, dude was having such a good day, and then it just turned completely into hell for him. But he's making the best of it, you know. And at the same time too, there may be a sense of hope. There may be potential that he may survive all of this, but as of right now, he's treated like an animal. People are bidding on him, like they're trying to sell him as if he's like cattle or whatnot. So all sorts of crazy things like that are happening. But overall, it's interesting. It is interesting. So with that being said, I think that the CG in this film, because it's very noticeable with the pig, I didn't mind it because the pigs were so cute. That was the time like, yeah, I can take a little CG pig because it has to play towards him. Because at a point, you see Sam and the pig kind of communicate to the point that the pig actually does talk. To the point that I was like, wait, did the pig just talk? I know I like the pig and all, but like, come on now. But it was really cool how they did that. But more importantly, what I liked about this story was I love the parallel storytelling and the dualities that was going on. And if you can't easily pick up on them, listen to the narration because they're giving you major clues as to that. So I really love how this story really told an interesting story of parallels. Like, it was really cool how they kind of played this off. And I really love the cinematography in this film. Towards the end, there was this one shot I really love of the country landscape. It was fantastic. I love that. But you know, while it was an interesting film, at times I kind of wondered, like, what was the purpose of this film? Like, what's kind of going on? And like, I really didn't mind it because the story was interesting, but I was still kind of trying to understand what message and what purpose does this film serve. And this guy Sam, he was a laborer, a slave essentially, but then he kind of turned hero. You know what I mean? And I think that I love the idea where they kind of told the story of a guy who was lonely, who basically his loneliness was attached to his freedom, where he gives up his freedom to serve a sense of purpose. And I was like, oh, that's noble. That sounds very heroic to me. I like that. So I like how that was sort of the underlining theme of this film and made me appreciate it a lot more. But I gotta say, man, the pigs squealing, oh, it was so challenging because the pigs really are tested. And it's just not right. I don't want to see no more pigs or animals be hurt, folks. I don't. But again, this is Samuel's Travels, folks. It made this world premiere this year at Fantastic Fest 2021. Jump in the comments, folks. Let me know your thoughts about this film. And as always, stay tuned for more reviews very soon.